Welcome to the Marriage Podcast with David and Summer.
We're here to dive into all things marriage, faith, and family. Real talk for real couples.
Thanks for joining us. Let's get into today's episode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Marriage Podcast with Dave and Summer, where we believe that every marriage can make it and that every marriage has a purpose.
I was about to say every marriage counts, but yes.
They count too.
Yes.
I believe that.
They have a purpose.
And today, my wife and I are tackling the massive topic of money.
Money, money, money.
Yes, money is massive in marriage. Out of the four main reasons for divorce in America, money is number one. So obviously, it's causing families to, separate. Or I would also say it's helping families come together around certain ideas that give peace in their situation, or maybe even chaos or ending of the marriage. This is, I would say, a major topic. There are tons of verses in the Bible about money and stewardship. The Bible doesn't say a lot about married couples with money, though, directly, but we understand that it's a challenge, and I believe God has some ideas. What comes to your mind when you think of money and money in marriage?
I'm laughing because I don't know what is going to come out of his mouth. So what comes to mind? Blessings, but also it could be challenging, especially when you get married, because as a single, it's your money. You can go whenever, anytime you want.
Yep.
All the spenders online, raise your hand. My
Dear
people.
God. All the savers who are wise, raise your hand.
Oh, you need to live a little.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there's so much. I will say that in my own prayer time, I have to go to God about money. So I do go to God about money every day. But I use the 10 Commandments in my prayer time, and it does talk about stewards. It talks about finances, stealing, rather. It talks about stealing, but for me, I use it as stewardship.
Right.
How am I dealing with my stewardship?
I would say for us, probably some of our greatest arguments have centered around money.
Oh, yeah.
Probably more than anything else, more than any other topic, sex, family, discipline.
Sex is up there.
Yeah, but money was, it's probably the most intense, I would say.
More consistent.
So I think every couple probably deals with this at some level. Some couples maybe have it figured out in terms of their rhythm. Other couples, maybe it's just a disaster, and other couples maybe in the middle of all that. But definitely we've had our arguments about it. Just, I would say a quick journey for us before we get into some practical steps. When we first got married, I did the finances in terms of the budgeting and all that. And definitely my parents sacrificed a lot growing up. When I was growing up in terms of the ministry, didn't have a lot, so saw that struggle. So probably didn't realize I had nervousness and fear about money. Get married to you, that starts to come out, and it did. And so then once I got, long story of that, but had a situation there where I just really dug deeper in myself, came to a greater sense of healing. And in that time, I just really understood I had to relinquish this and have better health for myself. So transition to you.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Okay. That makes me feel good. And transition to you taking over the money, which was really better for us.
Can we pause?
Yeah.
I don't know about anyone online, but this is a little, this is a lot, at least for me, to talk about this subject.
Okay.
It can be.
Yeah.
It can be a lot.
Yeah.
Just because I think we're better now, but I'm just saying, look, you sitting here talking about the beginning, I'm just I'm on eggshells a little bit, just because I'm laughing because I remember we got married. My whole goal was to have my loans paid off, just have myself settled and ready to go.
Yes.
And this guy's like, I'm not waiting for 7 years. I thought 7 years would be great.
Time out. We dated for 3 years, and then we got married on the third year. of dating, she wanted to wait 7. Now, guys,
I
do
mean,
you
it's
want to
not
wait 7
not
years?
specifically
We're trying to
7,
do
but
this in a Christian concept. You want to wait? Come on now.
I mean,
All the
listen,
people out
I
there that
feel
aren't
like I
married,
have
don't wait 7 years.
the fruit of the spirit of
Date when
self-control.
you have a sense of getting married. Have self control. Really, really
We're not talking about
bad
that
advice.
subject
Bad
anymore.
advice.
But anyway, my point is that when we got married,
Hmm.
there were bills that
There
I
were
didn't
bills,
pay.
and that I didn't know were coming.
They just
So
kept
they kept
coming
coming in the
in, and
mail,
I
and it's
felt
like, what
so
is this?
horrible.
Yeah,
I
did
was
you? You didn't see that at the time. But we're still married, folks.
like,
There's hope for you. There's hope for us. I remember it
I mean,
came
it'd
in
be
the mail, and
stupid,
I
like
would be like, "What is this?
$7.
What
I
is
mean,
this
it was
bill?
dumb.
What is this bill? What is this bill?
It's like from
What happened?
collectors.
I didn't have any bills.
You didn't. You're
I didn't.
great. I know. And I felt so bad.
I
That's what I'm
know.
saying. It was baggage that was coming
Baggage.
into,
In every marriage, every couple has baggage.
yeah. But I'm sorry. Okay. That's what I
So
was laughing at.
yeah. So obviously we had our adjustment period, but then
Yeah.
when I empowered you to do it, it was better for us and better for me. And so this is an ongoing process that we navigate. I would say our goal now is to have a meeting once a month, and we don't always hit that in
Right.
terms of sitting down, talking about our budget. We know our budget, we work our budget,
Yeah.
but to sit down every month and really go through that, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
Um, so we're in process, but I would say that we're getting better, and God has given us more peace than ever before with each other.
So I'll say for coming into our marriage, my mom was the spender
Still is.
and she still is. And I've talked about, her being um, great as far as like an employer. Like we never had to ask for anything. Like if I wanted Jordans, I could get
Yeah,
Jordans.
and
Like it was,
she was a hard worker and
she
had
was,
her own
yeah.
business.
So
Did
it
great.
was, so for me, it sounds horrible. Money grew on trees. Trees, money was just flowing.
Wow.
So, did you say- anyway, so that was my mindset. My mom was very independent, right? Um, but so yeah, so I remember when she got married to my bonus dad, and I was trying. That's when I think
Hmm.
that's when you gave the budget over to me,
Hmm.
and I was working with him on the budget, and so I was doing really well, and he was like, "You need to be more like your daughter." So I have improved,
Yeah. No. Totally.
but I will say though, um, when I talk about as far as like in the prayer time, like there's a lot of shame for me when it comes to money. I ask the Holy Spirit to cleanse me from shame when it comes to money, cleanse me from guilt, because sometimes it's like, and this doesn't matter if you have money or you don't. For
Hmm.
me, it's like when I don't have money, I feel guilty because I like want to buy a gift for a niece or a nephew at the time, or if I do have money at the time, and or if like I got a new jacket and they're like, that jacket is so cute. Oh, girl, like I don't sell. It's like little tidbits, like poverty mindset kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
anyway, my point is and I'm saying this just in case if someone out there deals with this, but I come against shame, guilt,
Hmm.
fear, blaming, because I have blamed God and I have blamed my husband for stupid stuff, and control. It's like I want to be in control of money and I have to release that and be a good
Let it
steward.
go.
I've done
Let
great,
go and let God.
but I do that just to make sure that my heart is clean.
Yes. Is your heart clean?
Hey,
It's
our
clean.
bills are paid,
Its
aren't
bills are
they?
paid. It's clean.
Yeah.
So we're in process with all this, and I would say that every couple has to deal with this. And that's a great point that you made. I think that having an issue with money is not about being rich or poor. The rich and the poor
Still.
and in the middle can
Mhm.
have issues with money.
Yeah.
So it's not about what you have; it's about the heart condition.
Mhm.
When it comes to couples, I think obviously communication
Mhm.
is it's the word
Mhm.
for anything and everything. And being married to you going on 18 years, that's not easy always. The flow of life, pace of life, details of life, strategies, all that it's easier said than done. So it takes intentionality. But I think you and I are improving and getting better in this, and we have more peace than ever before. And I would say that because we've, had very little and had increases over the years in different times, but I would say that um, I believe we can have peace as married couples, and I don't know if people would agree with me on that, but I think we can have peace as married couples with money, whether we have a little or a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's not about, obviously having enough obviously makes sense and helps, and all that makes it more comfortable if we have more than enough. But if we're together in unity and we're communicating and we're together in our heart and our mind about money or anything else for that matter, we can get through anything. If we're divided, we're going to fall for anything.
Right.
So we can have millions of dollars and be divided and totally be jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can have maybe little or just enough to get by, or having to scrap to get by and be together and get through it. So really it's about the heart, and it's about our unity and our connection. That's what I'm encouraging married couples with today. I'm not here to preach at you. Money is a huge thing. It's a challenging thing at times. But really the crux of it to me and our relationship has been, if we're together, we're going to be okay. If we're not together, meaning we're in unity, we're connected, we're talking, we're working a plan.
Mm-hmm.
If that is happening, we're going to be good. If it's not happening, it's not going to be good.
Right.
Something's going to hit the fan.
And I think you have to be practical. I mean, um, usually the wives that I have spoken to, uh, they don't have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
They're, it's kind of, they have a plan in their head, but it's not written on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And their husband has not agreed with the plan.
Yep.
And something that I had to do was I needed to get a financial advisor.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing good,
Mm-hmm.
but I needed to get a financial advisor to even get better. And shout out to Raquel. She's great.
And she knows, and she knew things that you and I didn't know. Obviously,
Right.
I mean, obviously, it's her job,
Right.
and it helped us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, having her just help me guide through, and then I'm able to talk to him and like say, hey, do you agree with this? What do you think? He'll give me his feedback
Mm-hmm.
and we'll move forward. But I think, yeah, having those continual conversations and a practical plan, writing it down
Mm-hmm.
is so huge.
Yep, it's big time.
Yeah.
So here's 4 things I wanted to bring up today that I think that
Okay.
you and I do.
Okay.
That I think we can share with everyone watching, and I think it makes sense. Summer and I we've decided to honor God with our money.
Right.
So for us, we believe biblically in giving, our tithes and offerings, which is 10% of our income, and then we give offerings on top of that. And then for us here at City Church, we give to our outreach initiatives called Heart for the House. So we've just decided to do that. We have and we are teaching our kids to do that. Our oldest son has a job, and he's tithing on his paycheck, and so we believe in that. And I just think it starts there. And people can argue about tithing and Old Testament, New Testament, but to me, when we argue about it, we're missing the point of it. The point of it is our heart is open to God in this area of money, as it should be in any other area of our life.
Right.
And so you and I have decided to do that, and we do that with joy. And I know we've been blessed because of it over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's huge. What would you say to couples just agreeing to honor God that way?
Right. Well, for me in Malachi 3, when he talks, they say, like, how do we even rob you, God? And he says, you rob me in tithes
Mhm.
and offerings.
Right.
And even before the law was even presented, Abraham and Jacob, they gave. But even after, Jesus is like, you gave the tithe. He says this in Matthew. You can look it up.
Mhm.
But I think for me, the reason why I am in an agreement to honor, like, obviously I was given tithes and offerings before we got married, but it reminds me even every day that this money is not mine.
Right.
Like, I still, like, again, I've already said I have to relinquish
Mhm.
control, but it's like this money is not mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being a steward while I'm here on
Mhm.
this side of heaven
Right.
with money.
Right.
And I'm acknowledging that the reason why I have this money is because God has given me the ability
Yep.
to get it.
Good.
So
It's good.
it's just a continual, like, no, God, I'm giving you the praise. I'm giving you the glory
Mhm.
and honor. And so, to your point, whether it's a lot or a little, I'm going to be content.
Right.
And
So
I have
good.
to continually be content. But that's before you and I
Yep.
ever became one.
Yep.
And even though I'm having that, I don't think I knew that when I was single, but as we got married, I had to continually, and I am continually, I'm not saying I'm all the way there, but I am continually having to fall down on my face, or basically just having the posture of, God, I need you in
Yeah.
this. And I
Yeah.
think because I am over our budget, I feel it more. So that's even and I don't know, maybe you I'm not gonna speak for you, but for me, I feel it more.
Mhm. Sure.
This is for our household, this is for our family. And then let alone we have a church
Mhm.
family. Obviously,
Mhm.
I don't handle that part, but you see what I'm saying?
Totally. And I think when we honor God, it's an antidote from the Lord to overcome materialism.
Yeah.
When we give God that offering and that tithe, it helps our heart be open to God and helps us overcome being materialistic
Mhm.
and helps keep us in check because we can't serve God and money. We
Mhm.
have to serve one or the other. And so we say we serve God, money serves us.
Mhm.
And I think just doing that, it's a part of God's house, it's a part of God's kingdom, but also it does something in us. It does something internally that is healthy and good. God knew what he was doing. In fact, in our 1 year Bible reading right now, in this time of the year, we're in Genesis. And Jacob, before ever there was any mention of anything,
Exactly.
said, I'm going to give God a tenth of all you give me. Abraham did the same thing as father
Right.
with Melchizedek. So there's something to be said that God put in us inherently because God never told Abraham or Jacob to
Mm-mm.
do it. They said to him,
Right.
this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
So there's something inside of us that is reaching to connect with God in every area of our life, money included.
Mhm.
So as we've honored God, and we do this, and we would do this if we weren't pastors,
Right.
because this is what we believe, and then because we are pastors, it helps obviously fortify that we
Mhm.
model what we preach.
Mhm.
We do this, God comes through, and He does some amazing stuff.
Right.
So we honor God.
Yes.
The second thing I put down here in my notes is that after we agree to honor God, it's important that we agree on a budget. And a budget is not a cuss word, is it?
No. No, it's not.
It's a good word.
Right.
And so obviously it takes communication. It takes us sitting down. It takes us going through the nuances of money, bills, and everything that we have. And if we have a plan, we
Mhm.
can, I would say make forward progress. If we don't have a plan, we're going to hit and miss, and it's going to be ups and downs and whatever.
Right.
I feel like we're doing better with our budget more than ever before.
Mhm.
But what would you speak on agreeing on a budget for a married couple?
I think that you have to hit the target, and you both have to be in agreement on that target. You can hit a target, or not hit a target, but you can throw your arrow and just miss
Yep.
every single time. And you're
Yep.
like, so for example, um, we want to go on vacation. And so that's something that you got to think about too. Like before I had the financial advisor, um, I would just have like an idea. Oh, I think we could spend this amount of, whatever. But now having a budget, obviously you're going through your tithes and offerings. If you do an outreach commitment, like we do, you go through all your bills, um, and then you go through your food, you go through your groceries,
Mhm.
but you look at maybe the last month. I like to look at the month the year before, just so I can get an idea of what do we do in January, what do we do in February or March
Mhm.
or whatever. um, and then you go through all of it. With us with kids, it's with school lunch. Our second son
Crazy.
is a spender.
Spender.
He should be spending $7 a day. This kid, 17.
It's called vending machines.
That's so annoying.
It's
So
crazy.
I literally have to go in to his account and put $7 in there specifically for that child. But anyway, so I'm just saying, go through all that, but here's the key: you can have sinking funds. And so sinking funds specifically for a vacation, sinking funds specifically for a car,
Yep.
or, people are doing no spending in January, or I'm not going to do going out to eat for February, but I'm going to use that money for, an outfit or something like that, or an excursion or whatever. But you can do things like that to get yourself ahead. And it's so fun. You can even we haven't done this. I think I did it when, for my school loans. Oh, it was on the dresser. You really didn't even pay attention to it, but I was having fun. But you could have like a sheet and color in,
Mhm.
the amount that you have put in there or
Mhm.
whatever, saved, whatever. But it could be really fun And but it can be challenging.
Hmm.
But I think the key is that your heart has to be right.
Right. And we're doing this, I would say, to follow the plan of God, the model of God, but we're also doing this to ensure a strong marriage. Because,
Mhm.
like we said earlier, the number one reason for divorce out of the big four reasons is money. So,
Mhm.
literally, this dollar bill or $100 bill, whatever, the size of a dollar bill, that right there, that piece of green paper with weird stuff on it. I don't know, some of that stuff's weird on the money that we have, but can literally dissolve a family.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
So this is needed to, I would say, work this plan and stay consistent so that it's a place of celebration, not a place of tension. And really, when you think about, I tell couples that are engaged that sex and money is two big things. When you get married, in a biblical context, they were naked and they weren't ashamed. So a married couple, husband and wife, can enjoy that part of it, and then they share income together.
Mhm.
Really, those two things and more things, but those two things are great blessings for a married couple. They can also be a great point of pain,
Mhm.
arguments, and tension. And if you don't have a plan with your money, it will not be a point of celebration or a point of peace. It will be a point of turmoil, and it will cascade into so many other things. And as we've been married this long, what I've noticed is money is not just money. Money is connected to trust. Money is connected to open heart. Money is connected to intimacy. Money is connected to a lot of other stuff
Mhm.
that if it's not right, it does filter out into other things in your home. And when it is right, it just is a place of peace. You don't have to think about it in terms of being worried because you're doing a plan and you're
Mhm.
settled with God and the plan. I think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
And so here's the third one: talk consistently, which we do and we don't. We're working on
This
this.
is
We're
one we
not
got
here to
to
preach
work
at
on
you.
more.
We're in process, but we have in our calendar to meet once a month, talk about budget. Some months I'm just tired. I don't want to deal with all the details, to be honest, but we're doing better at it. But we do talk consistently about our money, whether it's the actual meeting or not. How would you speak to us talking consistently and why that's important?
So I overspend for Christmas. We had a certain we had a certain
Keep praying
amount.
for us, folks.
We had a certain amount, and my husband will say, "Where'd that money go?" And I'm like, "Ugh, ugh, hee, ha, ha." So, but no, I can find it. I have found it. I know where it went. I get so excited.
You do.
I get so,
And
but it's
you
like,
get excited and the money's gone.
oh,
And really, God wants the money to stay.
no, I'm
God,
trying to love on people.
are you?
Well, you know what? What was your question?
Nope.
No,
You
say it
keep talking
again, real
about
quick.
overspending because the Lord's healing us right now in this moment, talking
Well,
consistently.
well, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, talking consistently. Um, yeah, I don't feel like talking about it. Quite frankly,
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yep.
Because here's what it is. I'll say for
Yeah.
me. And I told him I was like, I apologize. I repent to the Lord. Like, I need to do I need to do better talking about it. But for me, it's like I know what needs to be done, and for me to tell the way he thinks about money
Hmm.
is weird. Can I
Really.
just say that? It's
Really.
just weird. Like you start calculating in your head, oh, so we said we have this much. So then that means, and you just start going. I'm like, whatever. But my spreadsheet, beautiful. It's beautiful. Not even I have a spreadsheet and then I have this is obviously not sponsored, but it's a company called YNAB. I forgot what it stands for.
Yeah.
But I use that and it's beautiful. So for me it makes sense. But talking about it, we need to do better.
Hmm.
I'll say I need to do better. I'm going to take ownership
Hmm.
of that and talk about it more. But I mean, we talked about it this morning,
Yeah.
So
We
it's
do.
like
No, we talk
it's
consistently,
yeah, it's just not
but
sitting
yeah,
down
but to
and
have our scheduled meetings, sometimes it takes energy to do this. I mean, and if you're married couples, you know what I'm talking about. It takes energy to do this,
not during date.
and not during a date. Don't do that.
That's when he wants to have a money meeting after a date. That just ruins the whole date.
Well, the date's already happened.
No, No, because what if
It's
we
after the
argue?
date.
What if we argue?
Well, then you
And
make
we're
it
not
up.
gonna talk about Starbucks.
And you make it up. But Starbucks is in the budget.
For the love of Are you kidding me?
Babe, it's in the budget.
No, it is not.
See, we're working this out right now on the podcast. And here's the
Ah.
last one. So honor God, agree on a budget, talk consistently, and then celebrate the wins. Meaning have fun. And you've helped me with this. Without you, I don't know if I would have fun with money. No, I would. But I think it's
Mm.
important to take vacations, celebrate the wins, enjoy, as you
Birthday
can. Birthday
parties.
parties.
He's like, why is Amazon up here again? Ugh,
Yeah.
we need balloons. We need,
Yeah. But it's good.
tablecloths.
But it's important to celebrate the wins and enjoy the moments that you have.
Yeah.
And so we're a work in progress. What
How
would
do you celebrate the wins? Do we celebrate the wins?
Yeah, I think we do. I mean, you've helped do that.
What do you mean
on,
by that?
well,
Because
to
I'm
me,
thinking of
you've helped, us, I'm not thinking about vacation, but you are. Um,
see this. I got to take
Yeah.
care. But that's again. Let me just say this again. Another reason why I take care of our budget is there's so much on this dude's plate, and I want to make sure that he's okay, that he's getting well rested. And so it's like I want to make sure that we have money for spring break, for summer vacation. I want even something for fall break, even though we don't go anywhere. But we at least have like we can go
Right.
some distance and have a little excursion or
Yep.
whatever. So yeah, I guess okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you're talking about like I don't know what I thought you were talking about when
Yeah.
it came to celebration. Okay.
But I would say that we're in process. We're doing the best we've ever done. And I would say to encourage you out there as we get ready to close, whether you're doing great, bad, or indifferent, or somewhere in the middle, there's hope for you. These are just thoughts for us. To encourage you. I would strongly empower you to honor God, develop a budget, talk consistently, and then celebrate wins, have fun, and do it within the context of the budget and just build on the momentum one step at a time. And I believe that your marriage is worth it, your future is worth it, the legacy of your family is worth it. And for those that aren't married, please consider having these conversations before you get married.
Mhm.
And just so you know, when you get married, it's going to come up. And
Yeah.
so it's a part of it, and just work on it and let God help you one step at a time.
You did great, babe. I didn't know any of these points.
What would you
by
want
the
to
way.
say before we end?
I think the number one thing is you need to make sure that your heart is clean about money.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to look at in the Garden of Eden
Mm-hmm.
and how, the lies of the devil was speaking and she gravitated. And I think the money, the worry of this world, it can lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
Social media can say you need this and
Mm-hmm.
you definitely need to have this, whatever. And so yeah, you gotta make sure your heart is clean, and then definitely talk to
Mm-hmm.
your spouse. And if you need help, get help,
Yep.
man. Get someone outside of you and your spouse to
Yep.
help you with your money. It's okay. And I'll just put a plug. Raquel, she works for a company called Fruitful, and the first 30 days is free.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't like it, you don't have to sign up again for it. But if you just need, like, hey, I just need to touch base with someone,
Mm-hmm.
it's basically having a counselor
It's good.
when it comes to money, because money can be a trauma
Mm-hmm.
situation for people. So if
Yep.
we can get through it,
Yep.
you best believe you can do it too.
So can you. And I pray that money is a place of peace, of unity, conversation, and bond building with your spouse, and that you endure decades and have a legacy of faith and blessing to the generations to come. So thank you so much for checking us out today. Please consider to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. We'd be honored, and that helps us continue to grow our platform. And we're here to serve you. And remember, we believe that God is with you, and the best is yet to come. And we'll see you next time.